Hey, Beezers. Okay, so I told you I was going to start a new way of life, but since I'm back home, I want to have a little taste of all the snack foods and treats I love before we get really serious about weight loss. I'm sure that Solid wouldn't mind. In fact, I imagine he'd give it his blessing were he here. So you know what? I just want to have them. It is what it is.
Wow, what are you doing?
One last dance with Mary Jane.
Oh God.
Oh. Oh, fun. Which drawer do we keep the Red Lobster in?
Oh.
Hello, everyone. I'm Steve. Mark's around. Say hi, Mark.
Hey, everybody.
And this is Smokey Steve and Mark. Welcome or welcome back. And we're getting towards the weekend. It's on its way. Holidays are coming. It's very, very exciting stuff. So tonight we're going to check back in with our fair lady Chantal for a bit of a coffee break. She had a video that stuck out to me a bit this week. And I thought I'd share a few thoughts on it before we get to the weekend live again. So, vape just in case. And do you like my Girl World shirt? It was a gift. So, as you might have seen by my bucket of treats, Chantal has, upon returning home, needed to find apparently a way to include food in a video and eating, because even though she doesn't know feeders are out there, she makes what is arguably some of the best feeder content that I've seen in a while. But nevertheless, she decided, now that she's home in Canada, now home is wherever Sala is, but now that she's in Canada, she wants one last try, just one last try, trying all the snack foods and things that she likes. Now, this has been framed in the past as a fast food funeral. I've been watching Chantal since late 2018, 2019. 5 of these since then. It's just an excuse to binge. It's just an excuse. It's not the end of anything. When she starts talking about her experiences with food, how she hides food, fried chicken. She hides where she's eating. She'll eat in the car. She says that she eats a ton more off camera, which her body betrays that she probably does. But she wants to get all this in first. And the thing that could be separating her from her husband, according to her, is her health and her weight. For whatever reason, she felt particularly inspired right when some legislation came through that she was going to get her fat ass on a plane and get the hell out of Kuwait. She won't be back. I don't think. Salva could visit, but why would he? Unless that was part of his contract. I'm not sure why. So while the resuming of her marriage and the life that she said she loves, and the guy who is her heart and the place she feels like the skin hits her body just right, she's not going back. Instead, what we get is not a huge return for Chantal. A couple people, they went for Red Lobster. Family members, maybe the aunt, maybe the mother, and then she's just back home. And deciding to do a fast food funeral when you're not even really, like, it's not like she's been on a diet for a while and needs a break and is using that as an excuse. She hasn't really done anything yet. And her perspective is that before I get serious, I just want this last one. Hi, my name's Steve, and I used to be addicted to almost everything. And I can tell you the idea that you're going to have one last of something could be the last of something. Am I being dramatic because it's a, Starbucks coffee rather than a hit of dope? Could be. Ask Jen if she thinks it was that serious. Things can escalate fast. And she's not only very happy to put the food in front of her health, but she's eager to put it between her and her husband. The thing that are separating her and Sala, per her at the moment, is her weight not being under control. And whether that means she was legislated out on her ass, or she left out of fear of consequences, or she wasn't telling quite the whole truth about a couple things that were going on there. And she decided immediately, after putting off 4 years and blowing hot air about bypasses, to get one, get on a plane, fly. Once we arrive in Canada, Canada was urgent to get to, but we find out, oh guys, it could take 2 to 3 years to get on a list to get one. And her compliance with pre-surgery stuff, I don't see well, unless they give her some Ozempic to get the weight off of her and then put her inside of a, I don't know. She would again have another opportunity handed to her, because provincial health covers it, that people would argue she didn't deserve. Who am I to say? Nobody. I'm nobody. I'm a guy on YouTube. But she chooses to broadcast with a place that has an opinion comment section, so comments are invited, I suppose. She, by her fast food funeral, to me, is saying, Salva's not that important. You know he's not that important to me, but we're going to go through the motions. We're still going through the motions with some of the outfits. They're coming off little by little. And this thing is just going to be a memory. She's still trying to eat halal. Like if one of the foods out of 20 is, she can't find them easily, so she has to eat something else. She couldn't not eat Chef Boyardee, even though it had pork in it, because what would she do? Like, she'd starve if she didn't eat anything in the house that had pork in it. There's plenty of things in the house that don't have pork in it, like apples. Apples don't have pork in them. Just an option, just something to think about. So the seriousness with which we're supposed to take her health is now paired with her just eating junk, doing what she wants, and saying that she needs to get her health back together to go with Sala and begin their new life and do whatever they want to do. She doesn't seem to be rushing to the finish line. One could argue if she cared, she would have gotten a diet meal on the plane home. If she had this urgency that she had to do anything to get back to the love of her life, and instead she's filming, sitting around, just doing nothing. And then his dumbass puts out a reaction video, which is like listening to an automated system. It's not very interesting. And it was never his interest either. He's just repeating all the stuff she always says, or wrote for him to say, while he's there. Suffice it to say, he seems happier while she's gone too. So we'll see what direction it goes, I suppose. But the idea that down the line she's going to do anything. 2 years is too far for someone in Chantal's condition to assess. Time means nothing to her. Money means nothing to her. She doesn't value things like that, which is arguably disgusting and takes for granted the life that was handed to you. Chantal had a rather charmed life, at least as an adult. I know, kid, it was rough. She was coming up rough. I can forgive 10-year-old Chantal for being a manipulative little twat. However, closing in on 40, no, we don't get to blame ourselves with childish motives anymore. Or you can, I guess, make lives, talk about people using third-grade slurs. On second thought, go back to eating. Go back to the snacking, because the only other time she opens her mouth is to let out a lot of hot bullshit. So just assume have her eat and not speak as much. The quality of the videos that she's doing is not all that it could be. Again, she might be distracted now that she's back in Canada with things to do. She has wheels. She can get around. She has money of her own. She can go buy things. She can go eat wherever she wants to eat. She can indulge every one of her fantasies. She can get jet lag at any time now. And she's like sliding bit by bit. I think she's going to fall back into the life she had before. Probably not as bald and as not with the fupa ball, like none of that stuff, but more modest, I would say. And what comes with that is not that Chantal can't change her mind, be a Muslim and then not. It's the indignant superiority with which she expressed her faith and what a good person she was because of doing it, and how she's in love with her husband in a way that we wouldn't understand. Is it a way that looks like love? Because I haven't seen that yet either. Sorry. And she's just frankly not in a rush to get back to him. Poor guy. So, in the meantime, she's just going to eat junk. She's just going to eat whatever she wants to eat. She's going to have whatever she wants to have. She's going to start hanging out with Pete's, swing by Natters, because she thinks now she's in the position to go steal them from Dee Dee, even though they're not like a thing. I don't know. No one should ever be in like a permanent thing with Natter. You know, he's what he is, but not a good track record on YouTube. Not a good track record on YouTube. No. So how long until the fun begins? What's she been back now? A few weeks? Let's say by New Year's, the week between Christmas and New Year's, I feel like some old friends are going to pop back up onto the channel. Pete's wouldn't be the hugest one, because it seems like now She's already talking to him. They're already bouncing ideas back and forth. He needs a place to live. She has money and no credit, and they've lived together before. Hell, they've slept together before. But don't tell Sala. Do you remember her saying before that BB and Pete's never met each other? She kept them apart for the 8 years they dated. That's because she doesn't want them to compare notes. I assume the same will go for Sala. That Nana wouldn't be in the loop with any of them, but that it'll be the same sort of thing. Poor Pete's. And speaking of Pete's, he looks worse for the wear. I think it would be... Pete's has a hard time with independence. He needs some help with some stuff, and then other stuff I think maybe he's like scared to take the risk. Is he a little old for that? No, you feel how you feel when you feel it, I guess. But the closest thing he has to independence is being dependent on her. She, like, gives him the false sense of security. And false it is, because, do you remember 13 or so months ago? On no notice, took off and left you there? I can't fathom him wanting to be a doormat. But apparently he's okay with it. I don't think I'd be okay with it. I'm surprised he's okay with it. But I guess if everybody's happy... Except Sala, because he still thinks he's married. She doesn't miss him that much. She'd be on her phone constantly texting this, that, if she cared, or if she felt the need she had to be territorial. So either he doesn't look twice at another girl, or guy, or anybody, and she's not threatened, or she knows it's not based on love and commitment, and she's not too heartbroken that she's going to put a few shoe-fly pies ahead of her husband. While he stays there, managing their apartment, the cats she wanted, for trolling, and all the other things. And he's going to stay there and he's going to do all that now. This whole life that she showed him to impress him and then left. It'll remind Sala that Chantal giveth and Chantal taketh away. She reminded all of us when she was with Natter about how much she does for him. At first, she wants to sound like she's flattered with a guy. Oh, he buys me everything and he bought me this and he bought me this ring. Do you remember the ring? All this sorts of stuff. And then when she gets mad, we find out in a car raid that she's been paying for everything the whole time. So I believe Chantal when she tells me that that's going on. Because it doesn't paint her in a good light to be just taken advantage of. But again, she, like Pete's, will let it happen in the interest of having a friend, someone to hang out with, someone to do something with. And like I said, they go back like car seats, so maybe they are gonna click back together. In the meantime, Salahu, we're not going to hear about him much, I don't think. He'll be on his channel doing stuff. He was just on his channel doing some dumb... He was trying to do reactions to reactors. It never works, because if they were any good, they'd have a reaction channel and make some more money. If Chantal could react as well as French Fry Girl does, like it or not, the people like it. And she can talk about you and make more views than you talking about yourself. That's... would stick in my craw. I can appreciate that Chantal would be mad about that. That would bother me. But where are your hands with it? Are they tied? Are they not tied? Can you do something? Do you not want to do something? Do you have your own motives for not wanting to have someone like French Fry Girl off YouTube? It helps her. There's that symbiotic relationship between reaction channels and her. It's not the same with, like, say, Amberlynn Reed, because Amberlynn Reed put her foot down hard and soon. So you don't have as many channels like that are doing stuff with her. There's commentary and things, but not to the level there is with Chantal. And without it, she'd have almost nobody watching. So, going forward for the rest of this week, I think she'll probably eat again. This last snack fast food thing is nothing. His reaction channel isn't going to go anywhere either. Sala, poor baby. And hopefully, you know what? Maybe he'll like some animal crackers. They like those at lunch with apple juice, right? So what if we rot? She's going to continue eating. I'll catch up with you on the weekend and we'll see how much she actually put into it and how much she actually tried. Usually she tries very little. It is dead winter and she's in Canada. It can't be too hot to go outside. And you can't use the excuse that it'll take 2 years to get a bypass as a reason to stay fat for 2 years and do nothing in the way of helping yourself get out of the situation. 2 years, no surgery and pills. You could be done. You know, she's got a few 100 pounds to lose, but she could knock it off in a couple years. And think she'd be just fat that whole time up until the surgery, if she qualifies. She has comorbid everything. So it's going to be a challenge. But I think we're going to see more of the same, more snickety snacks, a rage or two, some community posts, just a typical week. And we'll see how soon Salah starts to fade himself out, which I think will be happening. I think he's not going to have the interest in dealing with this bullshit when he doesn't have to. He'll just close his phone, close his computer, and go do what he's going to do. She's the one who's glued to it. Has telling Salah to send messages when it's like 4:30 in the morning Kuwait time. But she thinks she has a good hustle, and sometimes she does, so we'll see. So thank you all for joining me, and thank you all for watching. Please do subscribe, hit the notification bell. You get alerts when we have new videos and go live. We're on Facebook, Instagram, X, email, contact info, all that's below as well. Thank you for joining, and we will catch up with you very, very soon. All right, so stay safe, look after yourselves, and we'll catch up with you soon. Bye. Say goodbye, Mark.